that's about where we stand. Just another thing, a note while I think about it. I've traveled a lot with Greg Overacker. He does eat, and I've never seen him eat a hot dog.
Good to know.
He does not miss any meals. I can assure you of that. In fact, I've seen him devour an entire plate of brownies in very short order. So he's not going to starve to death. Believe me.
Well, that is good to know. Yeah, he's a resourceful fellow, that's for sure. Now, with the work that the private investigator did, has there been any update on what you're going to do with that information?
We have tried. The sheriff's department has not been communicative with us since the beginnings. We've tried to get some publicity. We pushed the podcast that Crawlspace did. We advertised it down there, and we're going to still follow up. We have a journalist who's going to contact them, try to get some comments. Why haven't you done anything? Why isn't this being investigated? That's about all we can do at this point. I think it's going to be up to the public to ask questions about why this case has been dropped. You know, Mike, as I said on our podcast, Mike spent 20 years serving this country in the submarine corps. And to just be basically written off as a missing person under these circumstances is totally unfair to him.
Absolutely. You had said something in that interview that we had that just resonated, and we've made it a point to keep saying that because it was right at the end of that episode when you said that about how he served our country and no one's serving him, and it's not right. And that doesn't cross people's minds right away. You know, even if they read that somebody was in the Navy or somebody was in the Marines or somebody was in any branch of the armed services and they are now a missing person, I don't know if people really look into it that much and think like, well, what was it about that has contributed to this? And when you had said that, it really brought a couple of things together for me in my head that, yeah, like one probably has to do with the other. There's a lot of PTSD that comes with that. There's a lot of self-medicating that comes with that. And I'm not talking any specific missing person. I'm just saying there's a lot there's a lot of baggage that comes out of serving. And we glorify it too much. And we don't look at the actual damage that it does to people and the lack of help we give people. So thank you for saying that, because when you said it, it was just like one of those, like, it kind of knocked me over.
Well, Mike had his issues, and much of which I think was brought on by his service. But regardless of that, whether he's missing or whether something more tragic has happened to him, the family deserves an answer, and he deserves an effort. And that's all we're asking for, is an effort to be put forth on the part of law enforcement to, to find him or find out what happened to him, I should say. For those of people who aren't familiar with the case, Mike basically disappeared from his residence, left behind his wallet, his keys, his chewing tobacco. And one of the things that it was kind of almost humorous, but it's very telling. Mike was a huge Kansas City Chiefs fan, and Kansas City Chiefs were heading to the Super Bowl. And as I think Belinda and her their father has said, Mike would not miss that Super Bowl voluntarily. And to disappear a week or two before that is just totally out of character if it was a voluntary disappearance.
Yeah. And for people who have any information on his whereabouts, or if there's any information on his disappearance, where do you instruct them to go to call or email?
Well, they can certainly contact Private Investigations for the Missing. Our policy is any information we get that should be passed on to law enforcement is passed on to law enforcement. They can call the Colleton County Sheriff's Department. I'm not sure how effective that would be, but they could certainly make the effort.
Great. And that phone number is 843-782-4420. And private investigations for the missing, you can email PIFTM tips@gmail.com or call 866-331-6660. And, sometimes people would rather go to an organization like this as opposed to law enforcement. I feel like they think that I feel like they're more comfortable doing that.
Yeah, I'd rather them email Lou than the law enforcement. I don't, they don't respond to anything. So,
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Hearing it right from the sister of a missing person. If that's your preference, please go to investigationsforthemissing.org, scroll down a little bit, and you'll see all the information on where to submit a tip.
Belinda and Lou, thank you so much for hanging out with us here tonight. We really appreciate your time and just talking with us about Mike's case, and we really appreciate it. So thank you both very much.
Thanks y'all for everything you've done, and I hope you hit your goal. Yeah.
I hope you hit your goal too.
Yes.
Thanks. Well, I may just change that into a reward fund. I had someone from law enforcement tell me that might be better use of it than the other thing. So they said sometimes people respond to reward money. So we'll see.
Yeah, as opposed to a billboard, I could see that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thanks. Y'all have a good one. I know you're way behind.
We are. Thank you so much, Lou and Belinda. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Okay, and now up next, we've got a couple of very special people, Lance. It's two of our researchers from PIs for the Missing. It is Erica Zapita and Kathleen Studer, who are going to be joining us on the show now. Welcome,
hey guys.
Kathleen.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. Happy Giving Tuesday to you guys.
Happy Giving Tuesday to you as well.
Yes. And Erica Zapita, happy Giving Tuesday. How are you tonight? Oh, I scared her away.
She's got a fear of Giving Tuesday.
Well, Kathleen, it's been a long journey. Thank you for joining us. I feel like we've been working together for a while now. It's great speaking with you and Erica and some of the other researchers on the Researcher Roundtables episodes that we've done. Hey there, Erica. How's it going? Oh, I can't hear you.
I want to say, while you figure your audio out, I want to say we dropped off for a little bit, for like a minute. Everybody messaged and we're like, you guys dropped off. What's happening? We got back on, and I am so impressed that most people jumped back on.
Very cool. Yeah. I had no idea we even cut out. That just goes to show you the technical difficulties tonight are all Elon's fault.
Yeah.
Kathleen, welcome to the show. You've had an eventful couple of weeks at Private Investigations for the Missing, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Private Investigations for the Missing has had an eventful couple weeks in and of itself, with Jennifer leaving the helm of running us researchers. And what that's done is that means that now I work one-on-one with the private investigators. And so I've been working with John Friso and Lou, and it's been good. We just handled a case that was out here in my state of Washington, that there was a PI assigned, and by the time I was done with it in a couple hours, we didn't need a PI anymore. So that was pretty cool. I do open source research and try to get as much put together as I can for the private investigators now. And So this one was pretty easy. I've been a paralegal for 32 plus years for a prosecutor's office. So one of my jobs is to find people. And so a woman had gone missing. A daughter hadn't seen her since 2018. And I was able to trace that she'd had some online digital footprint going on this whole entire time. And so we got to tell, well, Lou got to tell the daughter, unfortunately, that her mom's not contacting her, but she is still alive and out there, and is not one of the more not so good stories that we've had to tell.
Now, do you want to quickly dispel all the rumors that are floating out there that you actually muscled Jen out of her role at PIs for the Missing?
Well, I think I just posted that my t-shirt needs to say, "I'm tall, so I will hurt you. So don't, so, you know, think about
Fall
it."
in line. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I didn't muscle her out of it. It was just, how we went, and we're sort of feeling out the new way of operating. And I've worked on a couple of cases since. Haven't written anything for you guys yet, but hopefully that will change. Unfortunately so, but that will change. This is a great volunteer job. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate being able to stay on and do work my magic that I can. I've been doing this with you guys for about a year. And it's been an very interesting journey. So it means a lot to me to be able to help as much as I can. The previous story with Mike Montijo had come to me, and I just, with everything going on in Colleton County with the Murdaugh murders and all those other things, I'm just like, I really think that a PI needs to touch this. And so it went back to a PI, and I feel like they're gaining some ground as best they can. So that makes me really happy. That case, I really want to find Mike. I really do.
Oh, for sure. I love how all of the researchers bring their own tool kit, like their own set of tools to the table, and they try to use that in their research. And when they put together these documents that we look at, and then we can really get a sense of who the person was by the time we do the interview, or by the time we, get together with Jen and actually record an episode. Erica, what's your story?
So, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, I went to law school, and I graduated from law school in 2018. So I practiced for a little while, and now I'm not practicing anymore. But I decided to reach out to you guys and just ask if you needed any help. I've been listening. I listened to you guys all throughout law school. And so I was like, I wanted to reach out for a long time. And I am a person that needs the t-shirt that says, "I do not light up a room." Like, I am that person. I will never light up a room when I walk into it. Nobody will ever say that about me. But so I knew, that I couldn't start a podcast. I couldn't do anything like that. And so I was like, I can do research. And so I reached out to you guys. And I was just like, I have no ego. I don't need my name out there. I don't need to be on the show. I just want to help. I just want to do research and help you guys because, I thought it was great that Bruce was starting a nonprofit. I really, when he started it, I was like, oh, yes, something positive is going to come from Brianna's story. And so I loved it. And I love being a part of this organization. I loved working with Jennifer. I was sad to see her kind of exit from that role, but I'm super excited. When you guys asked if we wanted to stay on, there was no question, absolutely. So I'm always happy to do anything I can to help and just to do research, just to help anyone in these situations, because people were saying earlier, it's a big club that nobody wants to be a part of. So Yeah.
And what would you say? Both of you can give separate answers on this if you want. What would you say is like a call to action for anybody who is considering volunteering, not only for this organization, but for any organization that helps people in a similar way? Like at some point when you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, I want to be involved somehow, what is it that you can tell people is sort of a catalyst that can put you over the edge, that can like put you over that fence?
I mean, I think, first of all, send the email. I sat on that email for a while before I sent it to you guys. I edited it a couple times because I was like nervous. But not only to like send the email, but also I listen to the podcast and I get inspired all the time. Like even when I have had a long day at work, I know, okay, I have to do research for this person. It's kind of like not like a break away from work, but it's just like a different type of work. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of missing persons cases, a lot of different podcasts, and I just continually find myself getting inspired by people, by family members, by you guys, the way you guys do your show. I mean, I think that just continuing, doing the work, reaching out to to any organization that does good work, but then continuing to like remind yourself why you're doing this work and why it matters, and that it does pay off and it does affect people's lives. Like making people are real people. Like John was saying earlier, he heard, Jason's kids in the background and all of that. They are real people and they do have real stories, and that like kind of resonates with me. So every once in a while I will get like really re-inspired and I'll kind of like go back in and look at like my research tools that I've come up with. I mean, Kathleen and I work together, we text, we call each other sometimes. So I kind of let that inspiration keep me going, I think.
Very cool. Well, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate hearing that. And you two inspire us. I swear, it's true. People who volunteer out of the goodness of their heart, it's inspiring to us. And this whole nonprofit organization is all about trying to help people and trying to help our fellow humans. So thank you both for volunteering your time and helping this organization. It is so very much appreciated.
Thank you. It means a lot to me too. Being a volunteer is, the good part of my day. We have to work, we have to pay the bills, we have to keep a roof over our head, but the volunteer work is the passion work, at least for me. So this keeps my passion fresh.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to express, Kathleen. Yeah.
Oh, you're on mute there, Lance.
Such a rookie. What a noob being on mute. Yes, I said that's wonderful. And Aaron put a note here in the YouTube chat that we're at $823. So we are about 170
something away from 1,000.
170, right? 170.
Whatever the math is, it doesn't really matter. We need
125.
125. Okay, yeah. Just
Kathleen,
you're so smart.
This is not a mathematics program. Well, thank you so much. And this nonprofit is so important. So we do need some more donations. We're trying to hit that $1,000 goal tonight. So you can donate via PayPal. There is a link in the YouTube, and you can just go to PayPal and find it there, or you can just go to Private Investigations for the Missing, the website that is investigationsforthemissing.org, and you click the donate button and you can find it that way. Kathleen.
All right, guys.
And
thank
Erica,
you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight.
You bet. Good night.
Looking forward to speaking with you soon.
Definitely.
Thanks a lot.
We hit
Okay.
we hit $1,000, and we will figure
We-
out a way where this Lord in Art, seriously mysterious little finger puzzle thing, signed by me, Tim. I'll mail it to you. You can sign it as well. Then we'll mail it to Erin, and she'll figure out how to mail it to the person that puts us over the $1,000 mark.
Well, I think that's probably the most.
It's the most
important
logical thing to do.
The most. It's completely logical. Andy Weiland, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, guys. Thanks. Sorry for the deer in the headlights look there for a second. I was still watching the live stream. I didn't realize I was on with you. You guys were just going along. That was great.
We're sneaky.
It's
We're
TV,
sneaky.
baby.
Yeah, we'll get you quick.
Yeah.
Andy Weiland, private
will.
investigator, you and your wife Ness have been working on the Phoenix Colden disappearance. And yeah, so welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, guys.
Also, the sweater is absolutely bomb. Where did you get this?
You're not the first person in the last
course
few
not.
days to say this to me. And I have a few of these different colors and varieties. And I always say that it's like wearing a blanket everywhere I go. It's very nice. So yeah,
It's making me warm looking at it,
paisley and gray.
which is
Very
the name
nice.
of your private investigations firm.
No, it's not, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
That's the name of his band.
That's right.
Yes.
Will be.
Yeah. You are Lakefront Investigations, and and you have been donating your time, volunteering your time to private investigations for the missing. You've been on the Missing podcast a couple times now. Most
Yep.
recently in CrimeCon 2022, we had you and Ness and Greg Overacker on a single panel. And that was a great time. And you were speaking mostly about Phoenix Colden's disappearance and a little bit about just being a private investigator for PIs for the missing.
Yeah. It was a great experience. Surprising that how I just remember being surprised at how full the audience was for that panel in particular, just being on that side of the dais, if you will. But that was a very enriching experience. Appreciated that, guys.
Yeah, you know what? Enriching is a really good word to use, and it always surprises me when I see the support in a live environment like that, how much people do want to, and pleasantly surprised. I'm not, I'm pleasantly surprised when you see that there's a lot of people who want to listen to these stories because they want to learn more about it. That not because they're getting some sort of like morbid fulfillment out of it. They will come up to you after and they'll say, how did you get started? Where did you meet Bruce? Why did you choose that case, or did it choose you? So it really is a remarkable experience. And I'm glad you feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head with that, Lance. And another big thing that came from that time in Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's not always true. We linked up with our now good friend Jordan Scher, who's one of our PIs for the missing investigators out of Chicago. He's been helping with our investigation since it is in St. Louis, and we live in Baltimore. This past summer, because of our interactions during CrimeCon and linking up together during that time, he joined me for a field investigation, our first field investigation this past summer in St. Louis, in East St. Louis. And we canvassed, we door knocked, we talked to strangers, we kicked dirt, walked through the woods and took lots of pictures. And those are the kinds of things that it's very difficult as a volunteer PI. You don't really have all the resources you'd maybe like to have, anytime someone like Jordan is ready to step up and make that, like he made that drive, all the way from Chicago. And he's a busy man. He's a very busy man, with his own company, his own PI company that he takes care of. This private investigations for Vanessa and I is not our primary job, whereas for Jordan and many of your other PIs, this is their bread and butter. This is what they're very, very good at, and it's what they do all the time. Jordan's one of those investigators.
And you said this isn't your primary job, but both of you are licensed private investigators.
That's correct.
What advice would you give to anybody who's on the fence about whether or not they want to, I guess, submit their information and apply to become a private investigator?
I don't know if it would constitute, if it would make for good advice, but I would certainly, what I did was listen to Vanessa when she said, Andy, let's become PIs. I listened to why, though. And when she told me about her passion for we talked initially about all the underserved populations in this country who don't have access to ready media outlets to hear their story, who don't have access to the funds to procure a team of investigators to find their loved ones. When she told me about this, and a couple other things that she was working on, Trace Labs being one of them at the time, that for me was enough to say, this is why I'm going to do it. So if you ask me advice, okay, fine. I'll say, if you're thinking about, hey, do I want to be a PI or not? You ask yourself why you want to be a PI. And if you like the answer that comes back at you, then go ahead and become a PI. In your state, many states it's quite easy to do. Other states, there's a few other things that you got to do. The state of Maryland, there's some tests that you got to go through unless you're prior law enforcement. Vanessa and I, not prior law enforcement. So we're going through the wickets just like everybody else here in the state of Maryland who would like to become PIs.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit about Phoenix's case, if you can share, a little bit, and what you've been doing on the case for PIs for the missing.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So Lou reached out to Vanessa in June 2020, asked if we'd be interested in potentially working this case. He started talking with the family, with Mr. and Mrs. Colden, and they agreed to work with private investigations for the missing. We've been working with them since that time. So that's 2 years and some change now. In that time, COVID had a big impact on our operations. So a lot of it was open source intelligence type work and OSINT work, and phone calls, lots of phone calls with the family and with others, Freedom of Information Act requests, a lot of things that we could do that didn't require us to be on the ground somewhere. And then of course this last summer, 2 years almost, it was early July that I finally got out to St. Louis to do the more physical part of the investigation. So over the course of 2 years, and Lou and I just had an exchange about this last weekend, or a couple weeks ago, when I owed him a roundup of this case, a summary, from inception. And I said case, and I know I liked Lance, what you said, we won't call them cases, we call them stories, right? We refer to them as stories because these are people's lives. But I think what was important for me when I looked at this report, which isn't as good as another report that he sent me, which was fantastic, and it's done by a retired police, seasoned police officer. So very detailed report. When we go through that process, it sheds light on all the things that we have done. And even though my report, that my summative report for the board, is not quite as detailed or thorough as some of the others might be, it gave me an opportunity to see certain things that have come to light. That's really important for me as an investigator, not just because it's why we're doing this, to make progress, but it keeps you going. Well, Lou and I had an exchange about this afterwards, and I said, Lou, there are times where I'm wondering, am I just kind of plodding along with the family, and being a fairly new PI. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. He said it is sometimes that plodding along with the family, and that's exactly what you need to be doing. Roger that, got it. And that was great. Those were great words from Lou. Valued that very much, and it got me right back to where I needed to be in my mindset, and it actually spurred me to sit down that same weekend and take a couple more leaps in looking at the information that we have available to us right now, that we've gathered over the last 2 years, to ask a couple of questions that we haven't asked yet. We personally, as investigators, Vanessa and I, haven't asked. Somebody else may have asked these questions. We haven't seen anyone else ask these questions or answers to them out there. So it's valuable to do those types of things and to take stock in what you're doing. And so when you ask, you probably wanted something very brief, and I gave you something very long. But when you asked, kind of give us an update on what you've been doing, to the short of it is, we've been spending a lot of time sifting through the known, trying to understand of that known what is misinformation, disinformation, unverifiable, whatever, sifting through all that. And I think ultimately we've come to a point where we've got some, and Jordan would feel this way. Jordan and I talk about this as well. We've got some really good, actionable ways to go with this case, and that's encouraging. Not that you need a whole lot after you speak with the family. You don't need a whole lot of encouragement to keep going as a PI with PIs for the missing. But that personal side, Lou as a case manager, yeah, I've watched people talk about him in your comments. I've heard people talk about him tonight. Fantastic, salt of the earth man, and very much appreciate his patience with me, his understanding of the process for a PI, and his ability to just give those really quick, down and dirty. It'll be maybe a two-line email from him after half a page email from me, and his 2 sentences were exactly what I needed. So yeah, great guy.
Yeah,
very valuable
really
to have
is.
as a case manager. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, and you're all salt of the earth, and I agree. Lou is great at communicating.
I'm very salty here.
Yeah, Lou is great at communicating. As long as you can interpret his finger typos. I feel like he's got at least a typo per sentence when he's writing on his phone.
That's just to keep us sharp.
Exactly. He's training us.
Yeah, he's the Cato version of the email trainer. Yeah,
that's right. We have to investigate what he means by this odd word here.
And in that we've learned so much without realizing how much we've learned.
It's true.
That's fantastic. And you know what? Somebody else said earlier, one of your guests, and I won't keep you guys. I'm sorry. One of your guests said earlier, we shouldn't be laughing. And, and I heard her, and she was right for all the reasons. And then there's another part where we say, hey, look, these are families. These are real people. These are real stories. The laughter doesn't have to stop. the love, the kindness, the good spiritedness doesn't have to stop. The seriousness of our business cannot stop. You know, how serious we take this business cannot stop. But
Yeah,
it's so good to speak with you guys every time, because you're just really good gentlemen, and value the contributions you're making to the greater effort for this great nation to just kind of recapture one too many of our missing.
absolutely.
Way to end with a like a power note right there.
Did I do that? Is that what
Yeah.
happened just now?
Did
Good night.
Well done. Was that
Good night.
written beyond the camera on the wall or something like that?
Mic
Jeez.
drop. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I've
thank
got-
you
Opens
very
with a
much.
sweater and ends with that.
Well, I've got a teleprompter, and what I almost did was say, quote, repeat, end quote, but I didn't do that.
Well, Andy Weiland, thank you so much for joining
Gentlemen.
us here tonight. We really appreciate your hard work on the cases that you work on for private investigations for the missing, but also your time here tonight. So thank you so much, and give Ness our best as well, please.
She asked me to do the same for you all.
Okay,
Good,
well, we don't accept it.
We do
I
not.
will let
kidding.
her. I will let her know, and you can deal with her when she gets back to Wormtown.
You know, it's weird that she's still so intimidated by us after meeting us a couple of times and doing
It's a
many
front.
interviews.
It's a front. I know her. It's a front. Yeah. All right. Hey, bless. You guys be blessed, and I hope you have great holidays ahead and stay safe.
Thank
Same to
very
you.
much.
Same to you and
Same
yours.
to you.
Right.
All right.
All right, take care.
And now we are just about done with our live fundraiser here tonight, Lance. We got off to a little bit of a rocky start with some technical difficulties, then had some more technical difficulties a little bit later in the evening. However, every segment of this show has gone off without a hitch. I feel like it's gone really smoothly when we have people on the show. And now we're going to bring our founder back on the show, and maybe Erin DeRosiers as well, if she would like to give us one final update. But we are ending this live fundraiser night here very soon, but the donation does not stop. Please, this fundraiser is going all the way until the National Missing Persons Day, and that is on February 3rd, 2023. So we are trying to raise $5,000 by that date. Erin DeRosiers, how are you?
I'm good. This has been really just a great night to see everybody and have everybody on and hear from everybody in their different perspectives. And Bruce's face. I can see Bruce's face. Hi, Bruce.
Nice. Hey, Bruce.
Glitch out.
I just love to see everybody come together and support this organization that's really dear to my heart, and Bruce, who I think deserves all of this incredible support for putting this organization together.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Give us an update.
I am clicking it right now. We are at $1,052.
Heyo. All right.
There you go.
Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for all the donations tonight. And again, this vibe does not have to stop. And in fact, we are pushing towards a goal of $5,000 that we are trying to reach by February. So please, if you can, donate. And if you can't, please share. Sharing helps as well.
You know what? I think John Lorden was the one that put us over the $1,000 mark. So I'm certainly not going to mail this back to him. He got me again.
Foiled by John Lorden.
You have to keep the puzzle forever. I'm very sorry.
Well, Bruce, tell us what this nonprofit means to you.
Well, a perfect example of is just through this show. I mean, I know a lot of the cases where we have helped families out, in a lot of other ways in the course of the investigation and outside the investigation. But it's just overwhelming to me sometimes that how everybody that volunteers, how their lives, they give you a little sliver about how their lives have changed and improved. And boy, just the sum of all that, the people that give and donate, and they're just opening their hearts up and and seeing the value of this for people that they don't even know. And it really kind of blows me away in a way. I mean, all of you, the people that work with the volunteers, the researchers, the PIs themselves that donate certain sections of their time while they're still trying to make a living. You guys, with the time you spent in the radios, and it's just different board members and the work that they do behind the scenes, and all the little stuff that never gets out. And we wouldn't have enough time to even go through a quarter of that. And it's I don't know, it warms your heart. You just see the real good in humanity into this, and it's just it makes me feel really good inside.
That's wonderful to hear, and it's been such a great journey up from this side of the experience, being affiliated with this nonprofit and seeing it go from just a few people wondering what to do and how to start, and what paperwork to file, and how to start a GoFundMe, and how to start a PayPal nonprofit account and a bank account, to being able to offer someone like Erin a role where she's like an organizing queen, like to really bring things together like that, and to have a research team like all that, like what you said, and not have them be anonymous, have them be people who we can talk to on a regular basis to get updates, and to be able to solicit opinions so that the organization can continue to grow and start to actually apply for those grants and make those huge strides. So amazing work to everyone who supports this organization, because it takes so long to get something this small and grassroots off the ground. And after just a few short years, I mean, I think we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we just kind of we stumbled our way through the first 2 years almost, learning as we go, and just kind of figuring it out as a group, the whole board. And it's it just seems like the last couple of years, I mean, we've got some legs underneath us now. It seems like thank you, Erin. The system seems to be working very smoothly, and it's we're really truly able to help people that contact us and ask for it. And so it's only going to get better from here, bigger and better.
And a huge shout out to Lou, who does so much behind the scenes. He's our case manager, so there's so much that goes into it, so much more than I ever understood before taking on this role. So he's just incredible and does incredible work, and I don't think gets enough shout outs sometimes. So
he's absolutely a key figure once something comes in. When a request comes in for help, and oftentimes, I'll reach out to law enforcement on this one, and I'll do a little this, and I'll do a little that, and before we even move on to whether to hiring a private investigator, he's already kind of on it, and he reaches out to the family sometimes, and he just, I don't know, he has that knack of an experienced person that knows exactly what to do. I mean, he'll send me emails different times. Well, I have this and this and this, and I'd like to do this. And I always, I agree, because it's absolutely the perfect common sense thing to do. And it's amazing.
We have a new rule here at Crawl Space Media. Anytime we need to make a decision about something that potentially has an impact on a missing person case, what would Lou do? That's our new rule. It's sort of like the what would Jesus do type thing. And typically we have to go back and be like, okay, what would Lou say? And then that's how we approach things now, because you're right. He's always right. He really is. He really has that perspective that it's tough to argue with. And
don't let him hear you say that.
Yes.
We're never going to be able to disagree with him again now.
He's actually texting me this right now. I'm reading it verbatim, but it's tough to figure out because there are a lot of typos. All right, I'll stop.
No, just kidding. Yeah, Lou, of course, is amazing. And Jillian in the chat room said Lou and Aaron are holding this whole thing together. And in some ways, that is true.
True.
Yeah. So,
everybody has a part to play, and everybody has a role to play, and
it's true.
And they do it well.
And Jillian, who does a lot of our social media and the website, and shout out Susan, who has helped us with some of our social media tonight as well, and getting some thank yous out there. So also just super helpful. And we come together as a team, and this community never ceases to amaze me with their passion and what they'll do.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree. It's so great being a part of this nonprofit. Thank you so much, Bruce, for asking us to be a part of this.
Thank you. You guys for getting involved. It just everybody that's just kind of come on board. We work well together as a team, and it's just been an amazing blessing. And I'm almost speechless, after a night like this, just to watch all the interactions.
Well, we got to say something. We're on YouTube.
The people that donate, they're amazing people. To just take a section out, a little bit of what they have. We exist for the most part by small donations, and people that just believe in the mission and help in the way that they can help. And I'm just, I'm blown away by that too, because to start a dream like this to help people, and just to see it all start to come together. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Lost for words.
All right, it's 11. So I think we did well with the technical difficulties.
We did. We weathered the
wrangled
storm.
it in. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Aaron, what is our final after an hour 40-ish minutes here?
$1,052 final total.
All right.
For this evening. We did well.
We did well.
Yes.
We're going to keep it going until February 3rd, which is National Missing Persons Day, correct?
Yep. That's correct.
All right. And then we should reconvene then. We should have another virtual live update with the total.
That's a good call.
And then we can discuss the whole tattoo thing there, and we can work out the rules and regulations on that. And what an amazing evening.
Yeah, this has been great.
What a great Giving Tuesday.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated. Thank you to everyone in the chat room who's shared. Thank you to everyone who's appeared on this show tonight and had anything to do with private investigations for the missing. We really appreciate it, and our gratitude is overflowing. Our cup of gratitude is overflowing. I don't know if that's the right way to say any of that, but thank you so much to everybody. This has been a wonderful night, and we will keep this ball rolling. And please donate if you can. Go to PayPal. There are links in the show notes, and there'll be links wherever you are listening to this right now.
And I want to close off with one thing. When Lance gets this tattoo, it will be your job, Tim, to authenticate it. Because who knows what he can pull off.
Okay,
It's got to be a genuine tattoo.
And when I authenticate it, I'll brand him with an A.
Yeah.
For authentic.
I'll have my own scarlet letter. Nice.
Oh,
I'll be like, no, this stands for authentic.
It's because of PIs for the Miss, I swear. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This has been a wonderful evening and event, and we will see you soon. Happy Giving Tuesday. Please donate to PIs for the Missing. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.